Welcome back to Chris in Retro. Tonight's show is going to be about inventory, and I'm going to look at three different components of inventory. Now, I've talked about inventory on here a lot over the time that we've been together, not just as a single subject matter, but it does seem to intertwine with a lot of things when we talk about recovery from addiction. One thing that I've noted on the show is that my opinions about recovery are really just my opinions. They're my experiences in my journey. I have components of my stories, and this components of what I share with you is AA related. I am not a staunch AA follower, not because I'm opposed to it. I just don't do it. And it's not because I'm have some higher level of recovery journey. I just don't find the benefit that I get out of the meetings worth the effort of going there. For me personally, is limited. And it may be just been my own experiences, but I found that my greatest experience has been through one-on-one conversations with those that are in recovery as well, including my own sponsor, and who we happen to talk multiple times a week. Within that construct, the reason I say that is because some of the principles within AA are very important to me, but the opinions that I have are not part of the Alcoholics Anonymous traditions or anything related to that. They're just Chris's journey and my observations along the way, and you can take them or leave them as you want. Inventory is an area that I find central to our own health and our process in terms of how we move forward in our recovery journey. I've noticed that to be true about mine. I've noticed it to be true about my fiance. I've noticed it to be true about friends. And inventory has multiple components, and tonight I'm going to explore three. So that I believe there's really in recovery, there's really three types of inventories, versions of how the inventory story looks. And I'll share the three that I look at primarily. The first one would be keeping our own house in order. So keeping your own personal inventory. To me, that's the healthy one. So that's the one that asks yourself, what am I doing? How am I behaving? And what are the tools that I have to walk this journey? I find that when I'm struggling with my recovery journey, I'm less likely to look my own way. But when I'm really trying to push forward and become stronger and become a stronger fellow and coach and help and to receive information better so that I become strong in my journey, is usually when I'm recognizing where are the holes in my game. What are my attitudes and behaviors today? Have I done a process to understand, am I angry today? Is my depression and anxiety kicking in today? As I've professed in the show before, I'm diagnosed with both. What does my whole picture look like today as I'm processing through my day? And it helps me understand how I receive information. It also lets me know what tools I need to activate that day, because I've been at this for a while in terms of the Chris Pridmore journey. And his journey says there's certain days that I have to be more cautionary than others relative to how I handle life. And so inventory in that case is about my personal inventory, understanding what tools I have at my disposal that I know I've used and I know they work and I know where to apply them. And then the other part of it is, okay, what's my status? What's the flight status look like? What are all the buttons looking like? Are there any oil change lights on? And that's my own personal inventory. The second one is the one that asks, what are they doing? The trouble they cause me. That one distracts us from our own work. And so that's the one where we take everybody else's inventory. And so we spend less time focusing on what's wrong with me and more on what's wrong with the world and why the world is causing my calamity. That's an unhealthier inventory. And I find that while I think all of us, if we're honest with ourselves, all of us assess the world around us and place blame on it for a lot of the things that happen to us, we can't really influence that and impact that. And I find the more that we obsess over what's going on to us and what's going on around us, we lose sight of the things that we absolutely do have within our control. And that's what's within us, with the tools that we should be developing and growing, and our own status versus our own system status. Like I said, the oil light check versus our assessment of how other people are. That's the second one. Now, the third one is it's your fault. And this is the one that can be an indicator if somebody is in, I believe, active use, mental health crisis, or struggling with the maturity stage of their recovery. And in those circumstances, that's the next level of inventory. So not only is it, so this, the second level said, I'm taking everybody inventory. The third level says, not only have I taken your inventory, I've assessed that you are the perpetrator of all things. And so those are commonly situations in spousal relationships and things like that, where, you know, the blame is always put. A lot of divorces start from that type of thing where, you know, they're doing this to me, but really not taking a minute to understand that, you know, you're an equal participant in this relationship, but that's your fault that you did this to me. He did that to me, you know, or she did that to me. And they go around their friends and talk about how all the awful bad things that their ex did to them. That one is massively destructive for yourself. It doesn't really destroy those around you so much. What it does do is it destroys your own work because it becomes so focused on other things that when I get in that mode, I look completely past the work that I need to do with me. Those last two are part of the reason why I don't spend a lot of time in meetings, because, and I'm open to the feedback that says that I'm wrong on this, and that's fine. So for those that are strong AA supporters, I am not against you guys at all. And I'm not opposed to AA at all. And in fact, like I said, most of the principles I espouse to. My issue is the meeting setting, a lot of times, at least from my experience, can lend itself to be often gossip sessions and things like that turn into inventories of other people. And that has been my experience. And so to say that my recovery journey is tied to an organization or something like that doesn't really work for me in my recovery. What works for me in my recovery is to making sure that I'm working with people and their personal experiences so I can understand my personal experiences too, and I can share with them my personal experiences so that we can grow together. And that's actually the relationship I have with my current sponsor, is we kind of co-sponsor each other. We both go to AA meetings, but we're not doing it under the AA umbrella. We're just understanding that there are things that we struggle with, and we know the principles related to it. And both of us believe in God and recognize God as a higher power. So a lot of our advice comes in that space. You know, I think that when we're seeing our friends struggle and we're seeing those around us struggle, I've rarely seen somebody in active use that wasn't under the third category of it's your fault. It's been a rare situation that I've seen somebody in active use, especially in opioids, that, at least from my experience, that has not fallen into that third inventory category where it's everybody's fault. Now, what I would say is that for me, I do have a tendency to look at other people's inventory quite a bit. And in my personal life, because especially in interpersonal relationships with Sam, you know, so Sam and I both in recovery, and you know, it's real easy for us to, you know, well, you're doing this, and I'm not, well, you're doing this, and we get in these back and forth because, you know, we can do the recovery spar. You know, we know the words to spar each other in our own, I guess, mess ups on our recovery journey. And so that can be challenging as well. When I find that we're most healthy, as we seem to be getting more healthy, you know, for sure now as we start to grow, that we are focused on our own journey and what needs to be fixed in me rather than what's in the world. And that's where I've found the greatest health, and that is an AA principle. If I'm focused on what I need to fix in me rather than what I need to fix in the entire world, or what the world needs to fix around me before I fix me. You know, these are the things that we tell ourselves when we're struggling the most, honestly. And these are things I'm talking about myself, but I think that many people can relate to that. And I'm sure that those that have been down this journey could probably hear what I'm saying and go, yeah, I've been there. You know, because I can't imagine anybody going through this recovery pathway and not having those types of things happen. I've been hit with this thing because in this season of my life, there's really been two primary subjects that keep coming up. And, you know, one of those is let go and let God, and this other issue of inventory. And they both keep coming up over and over and over again, over weeks and months, that this just keeps coming over again. And they're somewhat hand in hand, I would say, because the notion of let go and let God means I really don't have to go through and take count of somebody else. I truly, because that's my higher power, I just let go because I understand that not everything is in my control. The things that I can change, I'm asking him to let me know what those things are, and then I need to change those things. The things I can't, I just leave at his feet. That let go and let God. But when I take other people's inventory, I'm actually putting a whole pile of things on my plate that I have no control over, no control at all. So there's really no business for me to do that. However, when I take my own inventory, those are things that are within my control. And I absolutely must take control of those things, or I will not be successful in my recovery journey. Now, again, I'm not an expert on this. All I'm saying is that from my own personal observations and my own story and my own mistakes in my own path, the things that I've realized that when I find myself in these places, they are trip up and slip up for me relative to how I handle inventory. If I stay focused on the things that are with me and the tools that I need to gather for me to be stronger for the next round of this fight, which will be there till the day I die, then I find myself to be stronger. And on top of it, I truly find myself more energetic, more focused, and more interested in advancing my family and my cause and my life. These are things that have been burdening me for a while. I wanted to make sure I share with them with you tonight in this short video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you're thinking these types of things, like, subscribe, make sure you put your comments in here. Let's just see, what your thoughts are in inventory and how important that is for you. I appreciate you guys tuning in. There's a lot going on in our lives. We would our family would appreciate your prayers and thoughts. We got a lot of moving parts right now, a lot of things that we're dealing with. And, I see we'll be okay in the end. But it's just one of those things that addiction is a thief. And in our home, it certainly has been a thief without any doubt in my mind whatsoever. But, we've got our eyes in the right location and we're working hard on making sure that we do the right thing. And I hope that you do the same thing, because we are truly trying to take an inventory of ourselves where we can, so that we can advance ourselves in this journey and collectively as a unit here in this home. I appreciate you guys and the support you've been up till now. Until the next time we talk, please stay out of trouble.